following is a feature presentation of SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network. It's been 30 years since the Detroit Lions could claim the title of conference champions. So much has changed since then, and now they're hoping that they once again have a team that can have that title. But in order to do that, they need to get past the Green Bay Packers team that's hoping to vie for that exact same title now that they no longer have Aaron Rodgers on their roster. Welcome, everybody, to our first of the two Week 12 games of the week here in Detroit, Michigan on SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. My name is Joe, and, well, it's been a tradition that's dated back to the 50s. The Detroit Lions hosting a Thanksgiving game. And usually it's against a division rival, and today is no exception. But today feels different, because normally when the Detroit Lions are on Thanksgiving, they're not usually all that great. They've struggled in years past, but today they are a dominant team. They are a team with only one loss. They are currently the second seed in the NFC playoffs, and they're looking towards a bright future, not just for this season, but hopefully for seasons to come. They're looking to take the role of the leaders of the NFC North, but there's one team that stands in their way of that title, and that's the guys they're playing today. The Green Bay Packers have, for decades, been the team to beat. All roads towards the NFC North Championship have gone through Green Bay. And the Lions, well, they beat Green Bay earlier in the season, and they're hoping that they can do it again today on Thanksgiving in front of their home crowd. It wouldn't clinch their division, but it would certainly give them a massive lead in the NFC North. But we'll see how they do. You got to focus on the games that are played instead of what's coming ahead. And speaking of the games that are played, let's look at how the two teams playing in the game today are doing in their standings. As we said in Tecmo Rewind, if the Lions were to lose today, they would still be in the lead for the NFC North, but they would only be ahead by one game. The Lions are currently at an 8-1 record, and the Packers at 6-3. That is good enough for the top two spots in the NFC North. Meanwhile, looking at the overall NFC standings, the Detroit Lions are currently the number 2 overall seed, and the Green Bay Packers are the number 5 overall seed. Of course, things could change. Green Bay has Atlanta that they are tied with at the moment, so if Green Bay loses, they would drop to the 6th seed, while Atlanta would improve up to the 5 seed, depending on how Atlanta does later on this week. Meanwhile, Detroit, if they win, depending on how Carolina does, Detroit, by the end of today, would be the number 1 overall seed in the NFC, period. But we'll see how things go later on in the week. One thing I would like to note about this game is that both of these teams won their games that they had here on SVGN for their games of the week. The Detroit Lions had a game of the week here back in Week 1 when they took on the Chiefs. They won that game 45-23. Meanwhile, the Packers had a game of the week back in Week 8 when they took on the Minnesota Vikings and beat them 34-21. So, whoever wins this game would join the Cincinnati Bengals as being the only teams to have won more than one game in a game of the week scenario here on SVGN. But we'll see which team will do that. For now, we're going to have a bit of a break, and when we come back, we will join the teams down at Ford Field in Detroit. And here we are down at Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. Packers will call tails. It is heads. Lions will elect to return the ball. It is Anders Carlson who will be kicking it off for Green Bay, while Khalif Raymond will be back to return it for Detroit. He will take this from about the 8-yard line, and he's going to get to the 20 25, down to the 30, 35, he's still going to the 40, 45, 50, 45 in the Green Bay territory, and he's taken down at the 36. Let's take a look at that starting Lions offense after an amazing kick return. Jared Goff, the starting quarterback. How about him revitalizing this Detroit Lions franchise? David Montgomery is out. Craig Reynolds will be replacing him at running back, but rookie Jahmyr Gibbs is still here. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Josh Reynolds are still the wide receivers. Brock Wright is the tight end for the Lions. He's lining up on the line alongside Frank Ragnow, Jonah Jackson, Graham Glasgow, Taylor Decker, and Penei Sewell. Dan Campbell is the head coach of the Detroit Lions, and the offensive coordinator is Ben Johnson. 1st and 10 for the Lions on the Packers 36. I think that's the longest kick return we've had this season. Amon-Ra St. Brown, easy catch right here, and he is gone. Immediate touchdown for the Detroit Lions, and that is how you start in front of this home crowd on Thanksgiving. So that means Riley Patterson, kick on the way, is good, and it's 7-0 here in Detroit. Kayshawn Nixon, who's back from injury, will return for the Packers, and he'll take this from about 2 yards deep in his own end zone, and he's going to get to about the 20-yard line. How about kick returners this season? Let's take a look at that starting offense for the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love starting under center with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones as his running backs. Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs are starting at wide receiver. Luke Musgrave back from injury after last week. The rookie will be lining up on the offensive line alongside Josh Myers, Elgton Jenkins, John Runyon Jr., David Bakhtiari, and Zach Tom. Matt LaFleur is the head coach of the Packers, and the offensive coordinator is Adam Stenavich. 1st and 10 for the Packers offense. Love dropping back. He's going to try and run forward, but the defense is there to take him down. Alan McNeil with the sack. And let's take a look at that Detroit Lions defense that just performed such a great play there. Aiden Hutchinson, Isaiah Buggs, and Alan McNeil, the guy who just got that sack. They are the defensive linemen. Alex Anzalone, rookie Brian Branch, Derek Barnes, and Charles Harris are the linebackers. At the corners are Cameron Sutton and Emmanuel Mosley. And in the backfield are the safeties Kirby Joseph and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Aaron Glenn is the defensive coordinator for the Lions, and the special teams coordinator is Dave Phipp. 2nd and 15 for Jordan Love. He's going to try and run forward again. This time he gets away with it, and he tosses for A.J. Dillon, who gets taken down at the 34 or so for the first down. 1st and 10, Green Bay. Love going to hand this one off to Dillon. Dillon fighting for yardage, dragging defenders, but only gets about 2. 2nd and 8. Love going to hand it off to Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones not quite able to get the first down, I don't think. They'll measure it. No, he did not. It's a 3rd down, but it's a 3rd and short situation. Love going to toss it for Jones, and Jones going to get the first down easily here, and he's fighting for more as he gets into Detroit territory and gets to about the 37. So it's 1st and 10 Green Bay. Love going to hand this one off to A.J. Dillon. Dillon going to keep on going. He's got the first down and fights for yardage as he gets taken down at the 25. 1st and 10 Packers. Love going to toss for Dillon. Dillon going to bob and weave as much as he can, but he can't get too far. Gain of only about 2. 2nd and 8. Love going to play action this. Gets it off in time for Romeo Doubs. Touchdown Packers. Romeo Doubs, a staple of this offense for the Packers, gets a nice looking touchdown pass from Love. And Anders Carlson's extra point on the way. It's good. And we're tied at 7. Khalif Raymond, can he repeat what he just did earlier to start the game? Well, let's see. He's going to take us from about 2 yards back and gets to about the 12. 1st and 10 for Detroit. Goff going to hand this off to Jahmyr Gibbs, the rookie running back, who gets about 7 on this one. 2nd and 3 on the 19. Goff dropping back. Gets off in time for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Incomplete. St. Brown tried to dive for that. That was nearly picked off. Goff tosses for Gibbs. Gibbs gets the first down. Jahmyr Gibbs still on his feet and gets to about the 29. 1st and 10 for the Lions. Man in motion for Detroit. Goff going to hand this one off to Craig Reynolds. And Reynolds going to get taken down at about the 34. 2nd and 7. Goff dropping back. Throw is for... Ooh, that looked like Josh Reynolds in that case. 3rd and 7. Hand off to Gibbs. Gibbs gonna get the first down. So it's a 3rd down conversion for Detroit. 1st and 10 on the 41. Goff dropping back. Defense breaks through, but he gets it off to Brock right in time, who's into Green Bay territory and has the first down. 1st and 10 on the Packers 44. Goff going to hand this one off to Craig Reynolds, and Reynolds not going to get far at all. 2nd and 9 on a 1-yard run. Goff going to hand this one off to Reynolds yet again, and Reynolds, once again, doesn't get very far. 3rd and 8. Goff, play action, looking, throwing for Craig Reynolds. Actually, no, I believe that was Josh Reynolds. I apologize. And they're going to punt it. Jack Fox to punt it. Kayshawn Nixon back to return, and he'll take this one as a touchback. So it's 1st and 10 for Green Bay with 1:05 to go in the first quarter. Love dropping back, waiting patiently. Throws for Luke Musgrave, and it's incomplete. Musgrave not able to hold on to it. 2nd and 10. Love gonna toss it for Dillon. Dillon gonna get to about the 35-40, and he's got the first down. He's at about the 48. 1st and 10. Love gonna toss for Dillon. And Dillon into Detroit territory, but not too much farther. 2nd and 7 on what looks to be the 50, but barely into Detroit territory. Gonna toss this one for Jones. And Aaron Jones gonna take us to the end of the first quarter, tied at 7. 3rd and 2. Love gonna hand this one off to Dillon yet again. And Dillon gonna break a tackle as he's already got a first down and more, as he gets taken out about the 27. Maybe the 26, actually. 1st and 10. Love dropping back. All sorts of time. Gets it off to Christian Watson, who's in the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. And the Packers now get the lead. Jordan Love with an amazing-looking pass to Watson. And Anders Carlson's kick on the way. It's up and good. So the Packers lead this one 14-7. Khalif Raymond back to return for Detroit, and he's going to take this from about the 7-yard line and gets to about the 15. Let's take a look at that Packers defense since we didn't get a chance to cover them in the first quarter. Devontae Wyatt, to Daryl Slayton, and Kenny Clark are your defensive linemen. Rashawn Gary, Devondre Campbell, Quay Walker, and Preston Smith are the linebackers. On the corners are Jair Alexander and Rasul Douglas, and the safeties are Rudy Ford and Darnell Savage. Joe Barry is the defensive coordinator for the Packers, and the special teams coordinator for Green Bay is Rich Bisaccia. 1st and 10 for Detroit at their own 15-yard line. Goff in shotgun formation. All sorts of time. Throws this one for Josh Reynolds, and Reynolds, he's going to get a first down and more as he gets to about the 33. That's an amazing-looking pass to Reynolds there. And Goff going to head it off to Craig Reynolds. And Reynolds going to get to about the 26. So a gain of about 7. 2nd and 3 for Green Bay, in Green Bay territory. Goff throws over the middle for Brock Wright. And Wright going to fight for extra yardage, but he gets the first down regardless. 1st and 10 on the 14. Goff going to toss for Gibbs. Gibbs going to run this up the middle. Doesn't get too far with it. Gain about 3. 2nd and 7. Goff in shotgun formation. And he's sacked by Quay Walker. That defensive line broke through. 3rd and 17. Goff dropping back. Waiting patiently, throwing for Amon-Ra St. Brown. St. Brown gets wrapped up before he can get the first down. And so it's 4th and 2 on that 15-yard catch. This would be about a 24-yarder. Kick on the way. And it is good. Riley Patterson makes this a 4-point game. And he will kick it off. Kayshawn Nixon going to take this one from about 3 yards back in the end zone, maybe. And he is going to get up to about the 16. 1st and 10 for Green Bay. Love dropping back, waiting patiently. Gets it off barely in time for Christian Watson. Watson with the leaping grab. Can he? Could he? Will he? He will not. He's going to get taken out at the 23, but that is still impressive work for the Packers wide receiver. 1st and 10, Love dropping back. Throws to his right. It's incomplete. 2nd and 10 for Green Bay. Love dropping back again. Waiting. Looking. Fires to his right for Romeo Doubs. Doubs, who had a great-looking touchdown before. He's got another one. Touchdown, Packers. And the Pack Arena extend their lead even further. And Anders Carlson boots it in. It's 21-10 Green Bay with the 11-point lead. Khalif Raymond going to take this one back for Detroit from about the 8-yard line. And he's taken down at about the 17, it looks like. They'll say the 16. 1st and 10. Goff going to throw this one for Wright. Incomplete. Wright dove for it. Nearly got picked off by some yellow helmets, and we're in double coverage on him. 2nd and 10, Goff dropping back. Throwing to his right for St. Brown. No one gets a hold of it. That was in double coverage yet again. 3rd and 10. Goff hands off to Reynolds. Craig Reynolds gets taken out behind the line, and the Lions will be forced to punt this one. Jack Fox will punt it. Kayshawn Nixon going to take this one, not a very deep punt, from about the 45, the 40 of his own yardage. Only gets to about the 44. 1st and 10 Green Bay. Love dropping back. Throwing over to his right for Luke Musgrave. Musgrave, the rookie who just came back from injury, gets a 1st down and more into Detroit territory. 1st and 10 Packers yet again. Love going to toss this one for A.J. Dillon. And Dillon going to get to the 1st down marker and more as he breaks another few tackles, getting taken down about the 11. And the Packers will call their first timeout. 1st and 10. Love going to hand this one off to Aaron Jones. But he gets taken out behind the line as the Packers will call their 2nd timeout. 2nd and 13. Love going to play action this one. Looking patiently, throwing to the left for Christian Watson. Touchdown, Packers! Yet again, Watson in the back corner of the end zone. He's going to try and make this his successful touchdown off with Anders Carlson's field goal extra point. It's good, and it's 28-10. Green Bay started off looking rather weak, but they have since made a big turnaround very quickly. And Khalif Raymond going to get this one to about the 17.5. 1st and 10, Detroit. Goff going to hand this one off to Craig Reynolds. Reynolds running forward still into the 1st down territory as he gets taken out at the 33. And the Lions will now call their first timeout of the half. 16 seconds to go. Goff hands it off to Craig Reynolds. Reynolds still on his feet as he's taken down at the 40. And that will do it for the first half of the game. Packers start off with an 18-point lead. 28-10, they lead the Detroit Lions. A reminder to you all that later today, we have another Thanksgiving game of the week, as Sam Howell and the Washington Commanders have an NFC East battle on their hands as they head down to good old Texas to take on Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. And it's all coming up here on SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network. And so the Packers will now get the ball to start the second half. Kayshawn Nixon going to take this one from the 3-yard line. And he's going to get taken out about the 14. First and 10 for Green Bay. This offense had 8 first downs to start the half. And A.J. Dillon going to get the first down and more, so they're going to make it 9 now as they get to about the 29. First and 10 for the Packers. Love going to hand this one off to A.J. Dillon yet again. He's going to break some tackles, but only gets about 6 yards. Second and 4. Love going to toss this one for Aaron Jones. Jones going to keep going, and he gets taken down at about the 39. They're going to measure it. I think he got it. He did! First down, Packers. First and 10 for Green Bay. Love going to hand this one off. No, it's a play action. He fooled me. Throws over the middle. Incomplete. That was nearly picked off by a sea of gray helmets. Second and 10. Jones going to keep running forward. Only gets about 6. Third and 4. On the 45-yard line. Love going to hand this one off to Dillon yet again, but he will be stopped. So that means the Packers will be forced to punt. It's Daniel Whelan who will be the punter for the Packers. And Khalif Raymond going to get the ball back for Detroit. He's going to take this one from about the 7-yard line. Actually, it looked like the 8. And he's gotten to the 30 and taken down at about the 38. First and 10 for Detroit. Goff dropping back, running out of time, gets it off in time to throw it incomplete. Amon-Ra St. Brown almost had it in double coverage there. Second and 10. Goff going to hand this one off to Craig Reynolds, who gets stuffed behind the line for a loss of 4. Third and 14. Goff dropping back. Plenty of time. Throwing to his left, incomplete. It looked like it was meant for Craig Reynolds. So they'll be forced to punt yet again. Jack Fox boots this one. Kayshawn Nixon going to take this one from about the 13. And he'll get not very far to about the 17. First and 10 for the Packers. Love going to hand this one off to Aaron Jones. But he gets taken out behind the line of scrimmage. Second and 13. Love dropping back. Waiting patiently. Throwing it. It's blocked and incomplete. Third and 13. Love going to hand this one off to A.J. Dillon. And Dillon not really anywhere close to a first down. He gets about 7, so he got halfway to a first down, but that's not enough. Whelan to punt yet again. And both of these offensives have stalled out now. As the Lions take this one, Raymond's going to take it from about the 38 or so and take it to about the 50. Goff dropping back. Actually, he was in shotgun formation. Starting Devontae Wyatt gets to him on the sack, sending him back 8 yards. Back into Detroit territory definitively. Goff running out of time. Throws it for Brown. St. Brown. Third and 18. And the Lions need some help on offense right now. Throw is for Craig Reynolds. He's got the first down. I'm actually being told that was Josh Reynolds, not Craig Reynolds. From up here, it's hard to tell. All I see is Reynolds. And off to Reynolds. That was Craig Reynolds, who gets taken out behind the line for a loss of 5. Second and 15 on the Packers 38. And they're going to hand it off to Jahmyr Gibbs, who gets to the 8. He gets a third and 8. Onto the 40, onto 35. Goff dropping back. Throwing over to the left side. It's incomplete. And they're going to go with the field goal unit now. This will be a 53-yarder by Riley Patterson. Kick on the way. It's up. And it's good. It had the distance. 28-13. Packers still lead by 15. The Lions going to try and make a comeback. Nixon going to take this from about the 4-yard line. And he's gotten to the 21-yard line. First and 10, Green Bay. Love going to hand this one off to Aaron Jones. And Jones going to get to about the 32. First and 10. Love going to hand this one off to Jones. And he gets taken out behind the line. They're going to say second and 11. Love gonna play action this one. Throws it to his right for Romeo Doubs, who dives for the first down into Detroit territory and gets taken down at about the 38 with less than a minute to go in the third quarter. Love in shotgun formation. Gonna try and run with it, but Isaiah Buggs says no. Takes him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And it's 2nd and 19. Gonna play action this one. Waiting, throwing to his left, out of bounds. Was running out of time. Looks like people were covered. 3rd and a mile with 30 seconds to go. Defensive line breaks through, but he gets it off to Aaron Jones in time to prevent what would have been a big loss of yardage on the sack. So they're going to punt it. Cleveland going to punt this from the 50. Doesn't want to make too deep of a punt, but unfortunately it's still going to be a touchback either way. And that's how we end the third quarter. As the Packers have a 15-point lead, the Lions need help, and they need it quick. Goff going to hand this one off to Craig Reynolds, and Reynolds going to get the first down. And it's a first down indeed. Just barely, they measured it. So 1st and 10 on the 35. Goff in shotgun formation. Gonna run forward with it before he's sacked by Rashawn Gary, who says no. 2nd and 12. Goff going to hand this one off to Craig Reynolds yet again, and Reynolds going to get to about the 41 before he stopped. 3rd and 5. Goff dropping back, waiting patiently, throws to his left for Reynolds, and it's Josh Reynolds who's into Green Bay territory with the first down as he's taken down at the 21. 1st and 10 Green Bay, they're going to say the 22. Goff dropping back, throws to his right for St. Brown. Incomplete. That would have been an impressive touchdown that they really need. 2nd and 10. Goff waiting, throws out of bounds. I don't know where he was throwing there. Looks like his vision was a little blocked there. 3rd and 10. Goff dropping back, ball in shotgun formation. Throws to his left. It's Josh Reynolds, incomplete. And they're going to go with the field goal. Rarely passive move here by Dan Campbell. A rather conservative move, but it's a field goal that's good. 28-16. Packers still lead. And Kayshawn Nixon going to take this one back from about the goal line, actually. He's going to get to the 15. He's at the 20, and he's taken out at the 22. 1st and 10 for Green Bay. Love dropping back, defense breaking through, and they get to him. Aiden Hutchinson, last year's number 2 overall pick with the 11-yard sack. And it's a 2nd and 21 on the 10. And Jones going to get handed the ball as he's getting to about the 19. They'll say the 18 and make it 3rd and 13. Love dropping back, waiting, looking, throws over the middle for Musgrave, and Musgrave going to get taken out at the 29. So the defense holds. And it's going to be Whelan to punt. He punts it from the 20, and it's not going to be a very deep punt. Khalif Raymond only going to take this from about the 28-yard line. 27-yard line, actually. So 1st and 10 for Detroit on their own 32-yard line. Goff going to hand this one off to Craig Reynolds. Reynolds going to run into somebody as he only gains about 4. With 4:06 to go in the game. Goff, play action. Gets it off in time. Throws for Jahmyr Gibbs over the middle. Gibbs got the first down and is at the 50-yard line. Maybe a little bit into Green Bay territory, barely. Goff in shotgun formation on this 1st and 10. He's going to run forward himself. Tried what he did against the Chiefs on the Game of the Week for Rashawn Gary there to take him down. 2nd and 13. Goff dropping back. Waiting, looking, throws, and it's intercepted! Jair Alexander with the pick! And we finally have a massive defensive play that's not just a stop as he takes it back the other way. The Packers defense coming through. A throw over the middle for Luke Musgrave, and he's into 1st and goal territory for Green Bay at the 5. And the Lions going to call their first timeout. And the Packers might have just pulled away with the victory here. Love going to hand it off to Dillon, and he's in. Touchdown, Packers. And this game is all but done for. You can call this a Thanksgiving turf keep because this one is stuffed. And it's through 35-16. Khalif Raymond going to punt this one off. And Raymond going to take this one from about the 22. 1st and 10 with 2:03 to go. Hand off to Craig Reynolds, does not get very far. So, the upcoming schedule for these two teams looks pretty interesting, I would say. As we get as Goff going to drop back and throw for Josh Reynolds, who dives for it, incomplete. The Packers, after this game, have the Chiefs, then head to the Giants before taking on Tampa Bay. As Jared Goff going to try and fight for every yardage he can. He fumbles it! He fumbles the ball, and it's picked up by Darnell Savage, who nearly makes it a scoop and score. 1st and goal on the 6 for the Packers, as they're just going to pack on the points. A throw for Luke Musgrave is incomplete. Detroit, after this game, they head to New Orleans, then to Chicago before taking on the Broncos. Pretty easy schedule, I would say, is Jordan Love. Throws for Christian Watson in the end zone. Touchdown, Packers. And yep, this one is over. Green Bay. What an amazing game by their defense. As Anders Carlson boots it through to make it 42-16. The Panthers are going to be happy about this one. The Falcons not so much. Heck, San Francisco might be happy too with this one. As Khalif Raymond going to try and fight for every yardage that he can get. The Lions looked so good to start, but they stalled out early. And a toss for Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs only going to get to about the 27, and that's going to do it fully. It's official now. The Packers win this one 42-16 over the Detroit Lions. So taking a look at the standings with the Packers' victory, they improved to 7-3 while the Lions dropped to 8-2. Green Bay still at the 5th seed in the NFC currently, but they're currently half a game ahead of the Falcons. Depending on what the Falcons do against the Saints this week, they could currently maintain that 5th seed all on their own. Detroit, meanwhile, drops to 8-2. This puts them a half game behind the Panthers and a half game ahead of the 49ers, both of whom really wanted Detroit to lose for their seeding positions right now. But these two teams, like I said, they got some interesting games next week. The Packers have a real tough game against the Chiefs. Meanwhile, the Detroit Lions heading down to the Big Easy to take on the Saints. A reminder to join us here later today for our second game of the week here for Week 12 as the Washington Commanders take on the Dallas Cowboys, and to join us later on in the week for our Tecmo Rewind for Week 12. For all of us here at SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network, I am Joe saying see you later and happy Thanksgiving.